You've tuned into The Mountain Gardener with your host, Ken Lain. Gardening it can be challenging, but with these simple insider tips, you'll reap huge rewards. Now, let's tune into today's Mountain Gardener with Ken and Lisa. As promised throughout the week, I was going to cover in this show the living walls for beautiful privacy screens. And there's several. And just what do you do if you've got a neighbor across the way? You don't want to see your winds coming at you like crazy. You need to cut the wind or dust, or the headlights are coming down the street, getting right at you, coming into the living room. There's different areas where you just need a big living wall to block that. So I thought I'd give you a list of some of the most popular, easiest to grow, fastest growing in the mountains of Arizona, and maybe how to juice them, make them grow even faster. Now, most of these big evergreens, they'll have some size to them here at the garden center, but you'll put them in the ground. You want them to keep growing right away, and they are. But what happens with evergreens is they need to root first before they start taking off with top new growth. And so you're putting them in the ground now to encourage root growth, and then next spring they're going to take off with new growth. I mean, Arizona cypress, probably one of the number one sellers. Arizona cypress, it is what it says. It's a native Arizona. They grow wild around the region here. They are great plants that naturalize very easily. Well, you put them in the ground, nothing happens. And then the next spring you go, whoa, where did this tree just come from? Whoosh, it just takes off. It gets 12 feet wide by 20 feet tall. Perfectly shaped, silver blue color. They're great plants for here. If you just want something drought hardy, it doesn't get bugs, animals don't eat it. It's just easy to grow. Arizona cypress, 20 by 12 foot wide. It's going to be thick. In the store, they look a little small because they don't get thick in a container. They need to be in the ground before they put those great big swooping branches out there. So you got to get them in the ground now for some privacy. You're setting the growth. You'll get some growth, but it's discouraging how little it is compared to the next year. Woo, it's just like, where'd this 2 feet of growth come from? All over the place. So it's a great plant for here. Very fast growing and very thick, very easy. Takes sun. You can't kill the thing. It just really is a tough plant for your Arizona cypress. That's one. I would say the most popular, especially as we get into the fall and Christmas seasons, is Colorado spruce. Of course, they grow wild up in the hillside. So Spruce Mountain, those are Colorado spruce. Only in Arizona, we should call them Arizona spruce. That's what they are. So you can grow that in your backyard. Now, it's not the fastest grower. It can grow a foot and a half a year. But what it does, it puts this Christmas tree shape to it. It's perfectly shaped, and it grows 360 degrees. It's growing up, it's growing out, it's going everywhere. So it puts on more growth than it appears because it's putting on so much all the way around the plant. But a great plant. If you want something a little more formal, you need a showpiece out there in the yard. Colorado spruce is going to get to 50 feet tall by at least 15, 20 feet wide. And just this nice central leader, perfectly swooping branches, great color to it. There's a dwarfed variety called Fat Albert spruce. Albert is a half that size, so it's going to be 20 feet tall instead of 50. And it gets maybe 15 feet wide at most. It's got a kind of a squattier look to it. Same shape. When it's younger, you can't tell the difference. Same color. Actually has a better silver blue color to it than Colorado does. But both of those are great choices. A shrub idea is, there's three basically. One's my favorite. So one's golden euonymus. You folks from the East Coast, Midwest, you know what that is. It's a head-high, solid gold hedge. And the more you cut on it and shape it, the better. If you truly want a fence, golden euonymus is great. What I don't like about that one is the rabbits can eat on it sometimes. So if you got rabbits, don't do that one. Same with red-tipped photinia. Puts on new growth. It's probably a number one seller, red-tipped photinia, big shrub. Gets up at least 10 to 12 feet tall and wide. It's huge. And the more you cut on it, the thicker it gets. The challenge with red-tipped photinia, it gets too big for some of these smaller lots. It's just too big. You'll be cutting on that thing every every couple of weeks to keep it under control. It's going to be high maintenance. And again, animals, deer, rabbits can eat it. And it does get some mildew and some aphids sometimes. It's kind of a high maintenance plant, but it grows fast. Everyone buys it for the red growth. But I wouldn't plant that in my own yard because I don't want that much maintenance. What I like is called silverberry or Ellie agnes. It's a native. So Ellie agnes grows wild here. And the native one kind of has a muted blue to it. It's pretty. The flower smells good. But the gold variety of that silverberry is striking with the same hardiness that the native blue one has. So now it's got very pretty, especially up against, let's say, cinder block walls or cedar fences. You need something about 8 feet tall and wide. Ellie agnes or silverberry is the way to go. And once it gets up to size, never water it again. Don't care for it. You don't have to fertilize it. It is a true native plant. Gets up to size. It likes to be cut on. It'll get thick as you shape it, as you trim it, as you hedge it. So it's a great native plant. So silverberry, look for that one. That's the one I would go for shrub form. Of course, the native that goes with that, pinyon pines. People don't think of that as a screening plant, but boy, it's consistent. It's methodical, and the new varieties, a single needle pinyon pine. There's a thicker, chubbier needle. It doesn't get the scale nearly as easily as the native one. So there's actually more robust varieties of pinyon pines, and so they don't grow that fast. But once they get rooted out, you can count on about a foot and a half a year, just kind of methodical. Every year going to grow all the way around. And so most pinyon pines have multi-trunks. So, but you can train them to be a single trunk, like a Colorado spruce. But they look their best when you let them just kind of get this wild native form, especially if you're planting it with manzanitas, silverberries, your native silk tassel bushes, these native-y kind of plants. Let it go wild. Let it do its thing. It'll hang out with the Arizonans and just kind of blend right in and make you look more rustic. It's a great plant. Pinyon pines, great screening plant. The fastest growing of all of them for screening, no question, deodar cedar. So deodar cedar is a monster, though. I mean, it grows fast because it's a massive plant. And so this thing's going to grow 3 feet a year. It's going to get up to 60, 70, 100 feet tall and 25 feet wide. You'll be limbing this thing back, just trying to keep it from taking over the yard. So most yards, that deodar cedar, it's far too big for most yards. But if you got a big property, you're out Williamson Valley, the ranch areas, you've got a half acre or more, it's a good plant, especially out there at the outer edges where you just need some fast growth. It's a good plant. It's a low maintenance, low water care. It's a good plant. So deodar cedars. I don't have one in my yard because my yard's not big enough. I don't want something that gigantic. I want more plant varieties than just one big tree out there in the back. The Bible in the Old Testament, they called the deodar cedar the tree of Lebanon. The same wood they built the tabernacle out of, that's deodar cedar. So if you want a holier tree out there, maybe that's your one. It is a pretty tree. It's got pretty bark. The one I do plant because I just think they are so easy to care for are junipers. And they get a bad rap because everyone thinks, oh, I have got allergies. Oh my gosh. Well, we don't sell varieties here at the garden center that have allergy problems. We don't sell the ones that have the pollens. We're only selling the female varieties of junipers. And yes, we can tell the difference. This one's a male, that one's a female. The males are the ones that cause all that pollen, and they are the ones that cause all the allergies. So just plant the right one. And so we never start our junipers by seed because now you get 50-50. We're always starting by cuttings so that we know we've got the perfect female form, every plant perfectly shaped. And there's some tall varieties that get up, 15 to 20 feet, nice 10-foot width, easy to care for. Nothing eats them. They're drought hardy. They grow wild here. So they're going to adapt really well. So if you need low care, I like junipers. I think they get a bum rap because people don't know how to plant. They cast aspersions on males and females both, when there are some that are better than others. So just plant the right varieties. Those are all the fast growing living screens you can put in your yard right now. Get them going.
Watters Garden companion plants for July are hibiscus, maple, verbena, and crepe myrtle.
Crepe myrtle flowers are intense watermelon pink, solar reds, and LED whites that cover this heat-loving shrub.
Plant where you enjoy its beautiful multicolored bark and sinuous branches up close.
The flowers show against forest green foliage that turns red and orange in autumn.
Growing to just head height, every yard has room for at least one, and only available for summer planting here at Watters Garden Center in Prescott.
For a more fruitful garden, increased success in the landscape that just feels better, then tune in daily to the Mountain Gardener podcast. Subscribe through your favorite podcast streamer or visit wattersgardencenter.com. Better yet, visit me directly right here at Watters Garden Center. Thanks for tuning in.